Two balls and a strike to count on Taylor. Reyes fires, swinging a drive, deep left field. This is way back. Welcome on, Chris Taylor.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into DodgerHeads, presented by DodgerBlue.com. My name is Jeff Spiegel, joined today by Matt Moreno. Matt, Game 1 of the World Series tonight. Phillies in Houston against the Astros. This is a very pro-Phillies show, right? Like, we're a very, I should say, let me rephrase. This is a very anti-Astro show, right? Like, this is a no-brainer who we are rooting for in this series. Am I right?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of Phillies fans since October, 20th, whatever it was, when they eliminated the Padres in LA. I think you and I both imagined we would be doing a World Series video, just not necessarily under this circumstance.
Yeah, not with the Phillies as the lead, but I mean, you got to say this about the Phillies. They beat the Padres, which we all wanted. Now they're facing the team that I think there's an argument who Dodgers fans would have been less happy about winning the World Series, whether it's the Astros or the Phillies. But I know there's some Dodger fans. There's a Dusty Baker angle. He's sort of the one guy with a Dodgers connection on either of these rosters managing the Astros. For me, Dusty Baker, I know for two reasons. As the manager of the Giants and now the manager of the Astros, I was not old enough to see him play in person, so I know he was a Dodger, but once you become a Giant, I think you lose a lot of street cred, and now to be the Astros manager, I think we've wiped the slate clean on Dusty Baker, and I'm all in on Bryce Harper and the Phillies.
Yeah, I'm with you, and frankly, I was surprised by some of the, not necessarily feedback, but commentary that I've seen from different fans over the past few days, saying like, hey, Dusty Baker hasn't won a World Series as a manager. He played for the Dodgers and this and that. And I'm with you. I mean, I don't remember at what age I learned that Dusty Baker once played for the Dodgers, but I can tell you that it was well after the fact that he was managing the Giants, because then I remember thinking as a young kid, obviously, like that was just odd to me, right? Like,
yeah,
how do you play for a team like the Dodgers and then you're managing the Giants? Like, I hadn't fully grasped like the business aspect of the sport yet. And so it just didn't mesh. And now, the stuff with the Astros, look, I get Dusty Baker wasn't there, and I understand a lot of those players have moved on, but I would argue there's still a good amount of them on the team that were holdovers from 2017. And so it's pretty clear to me where like allegiances should lie.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you a bunch of reasons why you shouldn't be rooting for the Astros as if you needed them. The first one is Justin Verlander. Don't like that guy. He's still an Astro. Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, Yuli Gurriel. I mean, there's three very easy ones. Yordan Alvarez, I don't necessarily have anything negative. Obviously, the former Dodger thing hurts still. Springer is gone. Correa is gone. Some of those guys. But, I mean, Altuve, Bregman, obviously, Gurriel with everything with there. Like, those are the guys that I remember. On the flip side, I'm curious to get your take on this. I actually like Bryce Harper. Like, I know some people have gone anti-Bryce Harper. It feels like there was a resurgence of pro-Bryce Harper stuff. Obviously, he's incredible. It feels like some of maybe the attitude issues that he had in Washington early on as a young guy have sort of leveled out, evened out as he has grown a little bit older. I'm not willing to look down the Phillies roster and say, oh my gosh, look at all these guys who are so incredibly likable. I mean, sure, Aaron Nola is really good. JT Realmuto, like I kind of have a negative thing for just because people say he's better than Will Smith, which I take personally. I mean, Rhys Hoskins, okay, like Castellanos, Brandon Marsh, Schwarber's kind of fun, but I mean, to me, Harper is actually a guy that I find myself rooting for. So I've got one positive on the Phillies side, which is Harper. Another positive on the Phillies side is they are not the Astros. And then on the Astros, I've got 5 negatives of all the guys I just mentioned. Again, how a Dodger fan could come to bring themselves to not be rooting wholeheartedly for the Phillies is completely mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I'm sure we're going to see in some of the comments, there might be some people, older fans who remember Dusty Baker playing with the Dodgers who still sort of have the emotional ties. And I mean, I guess, like I said, I can kind of understand it, but at the end of the day, like if Dusty Baker wins, the Astros win. And there's just that, not even just the recent history, but just the way that, one, what they did, and two, their whole disposition and attitude about it after the fact, like just not remorseful and just how they handled that whole situation. I mean, I don't know, honestly, if or when the distaste for the Houston Astros will ever wear off.
Yeah, I think it's got to be. I mean, as long as Altuve is there, as long as Bregman is there, as long as some of those key guys that were the face of that team are still there, it's going to be hard. Which would have been worse, the Padres winning the World Series or the Astros winning the World Series?
I think the Astros.
Wow.
And,
okay,
and
I would have said the Padres
tough.
just because we would have had to hear from them. At least the Astros fans. I don't have Astros fans in my life.
Yeah, so that's definitely fair. I will say when the Dodgers got eliminated by the Padres, to me, it didn't really feel much different than them losing in the NLCS last year to the Braves, which surprised me. I thought it would feel a little different just because there is, the quote unquote rivalry between the two NL West teams. But I think maybe some of it too is just the way it happened. It was more like disappointment and just, the Dodgers didn't play their best, right? And they ended up kind of, in some sense beating themselves at least 40% of the way, and then the Padres took care of the other 60%.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I don't know. That's a tough call. I mean, I would just want the World Series to be forfeited if that was going to be
Phillies.
the matchup.
Hey, go Phillies. The answer to that question is go Phillies. That's Matt Moreno. My name's Jeff Spiegel. As always, we appreciate you joining us. Let us know what you think in the comments below. If someone can make a compelling case for why I should not be wholeheartedly rooting for the Phillies, I dare you. I dare you to throw one in the comments and convince me. That's Matt. I'm Jeff. As always, go Dodgers. And just for this week, we're going to throw in, please, 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 go Phillies.